good evening to you, Guyana, and welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Glenn Lal Show right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. Today, our country, Guyana, celebrates its 55th independence anniversary, and with that said, on behalf of all of us here at Kaieteur Radio, we wish you a happy independence. Tonight, we will listen to Mr. Glenn Lal. He will make his presentation, after which we will take your calls and, of course, take your messages. So I hand you over to Mr. Glenn Lal, but not just before I say to him, a happy independence to you. Over to you.
You're kidding, John. You're kidding. You gotta be kidding. You got to be kidding. Good night, Guyana. And I hope you would have celebrated the day. I did not. Many persons sent me happy independence greetings this morning. For me, it feels flat. It feels hollow. There's little joy in what should have been a special day, a special moment. Prior to 1966, when we were ruled by the British, every single one of us had a dream to become independent and free. Josh, independent and free. Today, that dream has turned into a nightmare, given what our leaders are doing to us. Independence is about celebration. It's about being happy. It's about our right to chart our own course through life. It is about the freedom to stand on our own feet, think for ourselves, and decide on what is the best course for us, our families, our communities, and our country. I will tell y'all something tonight. Just listen carefully, and let me say good night to all of you again. Leaders did a lot of wrong for the last 55 years with our resources. But today, I still have hope because, like I always say, all is not lost. Yes, all is not lost. We can still undo, reverse, and overcome them expensive failures. But we have to press our leaders to get it right going forward. We have to squeeze and demand that they fix all the wrongs in every contract they signed. All of them. In the gold, in the diamond, in the bauxite, in the oil, our timber. Every one of them. Then I think we can truly, as a people, celebrate independence with joy, with happiness, with freedom and prosperity. Today, we should have been celebrating 55 years as an independent nation. 55 years being our own bosses. 55 years where we should have been calling the shots in this land. But what we have seen, what I have seen over the last 30 years is this country is independent. Yes, it's independent, not for the citizens of this country. Only the leaders, their families, and friends, with the help of all the foreign multinationals that is here raping, yes, our independent and free country of its wealth. let me repeat, not for the citizens of this country, me and you, but for the leaders and cronies with the foreign multinationals that resides in our country. I am not sure we can even call Guyana our own anymore. The Chinese, the Americans, the Russians, the Canadians, the Indians, the Australians, the Malaysians, man, everybody here fetching out our timber, our gold, diamond, bauxite by the boatloads, now our oil. The foreigners there in every corner of this country grabbing up and spading out every single ounce or drop of whatever they can put hands on for themselves and their country, throwing the crumbs at us. Is this independence that one can be proud of? Let me ask that. Any one of you happy and proud being a Guyanese in this day and age? Well, I am not. And I will not be happy until I see all of you, yes, all of you, inherit and can benefit from our transported wealth that our foreparents fought and died for. When that day comes, then I will say Guyana is truly independent. Yes, really independent and free to inherit what belongs to us. Yesterday, the General Secretary of the United Nations, a man named Antonio Guterres, called on the leaders of countries like Guyana, who are boasting on how rich they are with the resources they got, to make sure that all the citizens benefit from their wealth. And it must not be for the leaders and the elites. The big boys, the man mean. The man said we should also safeguard the environment and put up, save our money for future generations. Don't spend it out. Don't thief it out. Don't give it away. He went a little further to say that the people of the country must be given the chance to monitor the actions of their leaders and the decisions they make where our resources are concerned, so we can spot the corruption that is going on. He was speaking at a round table, at a global round table, addressing world leaders. I don't know if our leaders were listening to him. But let me repeat. The man said all the people must benefit. All the citizens, every single man, woman, and child must benefit from their mineral and other resources, and not only the leaders and their big boyfriends. Can I say that again? All citizens must monitor their leaders. PPP supporters, PNC supporters, the AFC supporters, all citizens must be able to monitor and question their leaders to bring about a better life for y'all. That is citizenship. Exercising your independence. You must call the shots. The UN General Secretary said, is in order to protect the citizens from corruption and exploitation. President Ali, in his independence address last night, says the oil money must benefit all Guyanese. But what money is he talking about? The couscous money, which can't even fix the roads that is being destroyed by the vehicles of ExxonMobil, contractors, and the others? What money this man talk about? Monday, I promise you guys to talk about decommissioning. What this simply means, clean up after the oil leave out there. The wording of the contract, however, is even worse to understand. How they're calculating the cost is like what Jack Dale said in his 1-minute speech. Interest rate is crucial, but he don't know if ExxonMobil is recovering interests, the interests from the oil money as yet. But still running from the question of what is the interest rate we are paying on that loan. Our opposition leader, Joseph Harmon, never said another word on that question. His answer was, like I said Monday, this is my promise and I demanded it. That's all he said on the interest rate question. For the AFC, Mr. Ramjatan, the leader of that party, since Friday I asked him the same question and repeated it today twice. He read the messages and maybe like he eyes gone bad. I haven't got an answer from him as I walked out my office to this radio station a few minutes ago. I will repeat, we are paying the interest rate alone more than your yearly budget to feed and run this country. And all three the political parties is playing hide and seek on that question. You hear me? We are borrowing money to eat and allowing Exxon to take more than the budget money on interest rate alone, and everybody quiet. Guys, the money that will be coming out from our oil to clean up the mess out there, listen to this carefully, not an oil spill or a disaster, just to remove the pipes and seal the wellheads, that money will be more than the oil money Guyana will ever see in the lifetime of our oil out there. You hear that? This has nothing to do with the interest rate now. Just to clean up there and seal the wellheads will cost us more than what we will get in a lifetime from our oil out there. Hear me. More than you will ever get. That's my understanding so far on what I read in the contract. I have sent the provisions in that contract to some university scholars and oil experts to explain what it means. 2 of them already responded. Glenn, I, like you, don't understand. I am waiting on the others to see how they can explain it for me. I have also sent to some of our leaders, and I am awaiting on them to respond too. I sent it twice to Mr. Trotman because he is the man that signed that contract. Friday, I'll try my best to explain the cleaning up cost. By then, I'm sure I will get some responses from these people. I had also planned to talk about what is going on in the bauxite industry with the Chinese and the Russians. I will see if I get time Friday to tell you in detail what Guyana is getting out of that sector too. Tonight, because of independence and looking at the Kaieteur News headlines, I feel it is important that I speak on some of the stories we carried in the newspapers today to reflect on where we are as a nation at 55. Cash-strapped GWI, Guyana Water Inc., the company that sells you water, distribute water, spent $30 million in 2018 on a Christmas party and their anniversary retreat. 30 million them a spend for sport and have a good time, while several contracts that they owe $1 million, $2 million, and $3 million to cannot be paid years now. One is my neighbor, an elderly man, about 78 years old. The man came complaining to me, 2 years now, Glenn, please see how you can get them to pay me. I got to replace my materials to continue my business, and GWI not paying me. Every time I call, they got me pushing around, going around in circles. 2 years have passed and the man I got paid. Until now. But I can spend $30 million in fine wine and dine to celebrate. Just now yet, we don't know if they really wine and dine with that money. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I am told them even owe GPL in the billions and can't pay. Wow. Me and you got to sustain that entity. That's why our light bills keep rising, going up, coming out from your little salaries, what you should have been using for feed your children. That is what you call independence. Really independent and free. Free for them who running it. Free for them to do what them want to do with our money. All this happened, brothers and sisters, under the leadership of no other than Mr. Richard Van West Charles. Hear that? Mm-hmm. This is one of them who got me in court too. Only yesterday was the trial. This is Guyana, beautiful Guyana, independent and free. Mm-hmm. Do we all want with me? Do we all want with us? Yes. And we gonna believe. Guyana, beautiful Guyana. The city council, beautiful city council too. Today, the Georgetown mayor, the Pandit, announced that months after a decision was taken to cancel all the leases approved by the ex-town clerk, Royston King, them now decide to publish and review the list of 55 leases who benefited from these deals. You hear how much deals? 55 deals. It ring a bell? Today we celebrate 55. Like these chaps, just 55 like was in his head. Yes, 55. And it took the mayor and town council to now decide to expose the 55 leases. They benefited from the deals. The pundits say how Royston King even rent waterfront lands that does not fall under the control of City Hall. He said the man was even collecting rent for a whole year in his private capacity. Not Glenn Lal saying this. The mayor said that in today's paper. The money was going in his pocket instead of the council pocket. Hear that? When they could have collected that little money to fix the dilapidated markets around this place were leaking. They can't even fix the zinc sheet. The council said, or if you want to say the mayor said, the man leased out to a number of private individuals and companies, riverside properties, and even reserves without the knowledge and approval of the council. This is a man who was a law unto himself, independent and free. Today's independence, you guys remember? Yeah, man, today's independence. We celebrating how much? 55. Now, years after, them a hustle for go fix and correct, while the man walking like a real king. What's his name? Royston King. A real king around Guyana. Y'all best check and see if you ain't walking like a king in some other country with your money collected. This is Guyana, beautiful Guyana. Now let me turn to the main headline of today's Kaieteur News. More shares sold in suspiciously awarded Kaieteur oil block. I love this. I smiled, and I am still smiling from my heart, and I mean this. Yes, that story just refreshes my memory. It's a story I will go to my grave with, because I know it from top to bottom, from the beginning, just waiting to see the end. I know if y'all remember the Kaieteur and Kanji oil blocks. I don't think y'all know. It worth billions of American dollars. Them say it disappear from the eyesight just before the 2015 election. Signed away by the man himself, the president of Guyana, Uncle Donald Ramutar, with the directions from Uncle Robert D. Passad. Y'all remember what they said? Robert Passad, they said, he never meet the people before and can't remember even them names. He said he can't remember the lawyers too who signed the contract on behalf of the people. He said he remember their face though, but don't remember their names. And he don't know where their offices is. And Uncle Donald said he had a few files on his desk days before he left office. So he was cleaning up his desk and just signed them off with the recommendations of Uncle Robert D. Passad and the GGMC people. I will go to my grave with these things in my soul, in my bloodstream, guys. Today is Independence Day. It has been a beautiful day to be reminded that we are losing our resources day by day, and we are losing we country minute after minute in the process. Today, again, we reported in the Kaieteur News that the owners sold another 5% of their shares in the Kaieteur block, the Kaieteur oil block, and collected millions more in American dollars. A company out of England, Westmount Energy, announced that sale to Hess Corporation. We're working right out there with the oil. Them is ExxonMobil partner. Them who buy the 5%. Guyana ain't know how much money them pay because Guyana ain't own it anymore. The people who Uncle Donald and Uncle Robert them give it to, them selling it, them own it. A big chunk of Guyana, independent Guyana, disappear from us. I hope you guys following me, man. I can see you nodding away on me, man. You're sleeping away. Yeah, I'm seeing all these people nodding away. They had a few drinks for independence, and you guys sleeping away. As soon as they receive the oil blocks from Robert and Donald in 2015, by the time Guyanese could have wink, they sell a big portion to ExxonMobil. On to today, we don't know how much money them collect, but it worth billions. Let me ask you, what them do forget an oil block that worth billions in them hand? Can somebody answer me that? What Guyana gets so far? Brothers and sisters, absolutely nothing. I believe, and I've said it before, they haven't even touched the water out there in the ocean, but them can collect billions from the oil blocks. This is independent Guyana. Sweet, sweet Guyana that our leaders telling us we should celebrate 55. And today, we are told that more and more is being sold. You all know, this is one of the lawsuit Uncle Donald Trope on Kaieteur News. Yes. Excuse me. In which the judge grant 20 million for me to pay is because the president, the Constitution allow him to do whatever, whenever, and however they feel with the people's wealth, me and you own. Yes. You dare not talk too much about that transaction. If not, you're going to get a lawsuit. Independent and free Guyana this is. Just a reminder for your ears. When the coalition was in the opposition, man, we're going to go in there and we're going to investigate and undo all the wrongs the PPP did to the people of this country with its wealth. Man, you got to hear, every day the Kaieteur News used to carry stories upon stories with the Harmons, the Pattersons, the Ramjetans, the Trotmans, Val Lawrence, and all the rest of them, saying what them going to do and what them ain't going to do when they get in. How they going to take back all them oil blocks and rescind, review and revoke all them deals the PPP did. Oh, Papa. Yes, Mama. Them go in with them big mouth and long tongue. What happened? What happened to the promises they was making? Them get kicked out. And it looked like them lost them mouth plus them tongue when them been in there. Because they come out now and not saying anything. Can't even answer one of the most important questions as to the interest rates. What them sign on to with ExxonMobil on the 20 million Lisa 1, 2, and 3, which is Payara project. When last you heard the whole press conference, any one of them, other than Harmon walking around the market area, talking about investigate the COVID money, the little couscous we all get, and writing to foreign embassy, complaining about little mangroves. This is independence. This is what y'all want me to be happy about. This is what you smiling about and wishing me happy Independence Day, Mr. Glenlal. How can I be happy with this, bro? It's the same thing when the PPP was in opposition. Them two had big mouth and long tongue. Jack Deere said how them would support an international investigation into how the Kanji and Kaieteur oil blocks were given out. Oh, yes, I love it. I love this country. He said many other things. He said if any wrong was committed, then the individual should face the music. The PPP come back in office. The first press conference Jack Deere held, 3 hours he talked for. He go wrong like Mary go wrong. And when oil block issue was raised, he said all the things that Kaieteur News talk about, he can explain it. He said a period in which Ramotar signed away the oil blocks was a different time because we didn't have oil and we needed investors. So we had to be generous. We had to sweeten the deal. Hear that, guys? They had to sweeten the deals. So it was okay for Uncle Donald and Robert to give away the oil blocks. That is sweetening the deal. Are you understand what I'm saying, man? But let me correct what he said there. In 2015, when the blocks were handed out, this country had already known that massive oil were out there. You hear that? They put out an ad in the newspapers telling the country that in their campaign, during the election campaign in 2015. It's in the Kaieteur News too. He said, when he examined the situation, no laws were broken. And from what he knew about Ramotar, no corruption was involved. Brother, only you alone know that. Just like how you alone know that the gas ashore project going to be beneficial for Guyana. Only you alone know that. Glenlal and I guess many of you out there listening to me ain't going to buy that. I still want to know why our oil blocks that worth millions, billions in American dollars were just given away to people who them say that doesn't know and never met. What you say, guys? You don't want to know? Huh? That's my point. Jack Deere said when it comes to calls for investigations, he got to be satisfied first that there is enough reason to go and do any probe. He got to be satisfied first. You hear that? He's the judge, the jury, and the executioner for an investigation on our assets. Yes, me and you assets. He then said, all the things that everybody talking about is just speculation. You hear that? Oil block, what Guyana gets nothing for, disappear from Guyana, and we, the people of this country, the talk we talk, the man says speculations. He said, even big global witness couldn't provide any evidence to tie any politician to any corruption in the giveaway of the oil blocks. In other words, the man is telling Guyana, it's okay for our leader, any president, to give away the country to anybody once you can prove that money pass. Are you hearing what's going on? Global Witness is a company that oversees and investigate countries' resources to see whether the leaders were corrupted in giving away the people's assets. Right? The people put out a beautiful report, but just that the people can't say that money passed. Right? The people did say all the red flags the government pushed aside, reneged, didn't look at, things that they would have said right away, no, you can't get this oil block. Yeah. But he's not saying that. Jack Davis is saying, well, the people say, they're not going to know evidence money pass. So it's okay. Take it. Jack Davis said, since November press conference, he said that. He said he's going to ask GGMC to give him a brief on what happened during Ramotar time, and then he going to get back to the media on the matter. You hear me? That was since last year, November. And he was, and still is the main player within the party. And the opposition leader. Now he's the oil blocks boss. He was there when this thing signed away. And he's still saying that he asking GGMC to give him a rundown before he can say anything. Since November to now, the nation still awaits that information, what he has to say. Are you see what's going on in this land? Yes. You're reading through the line? I hope so. To this day, he and Winston Brasington and a foreigner they may employ busy with that dead donkey, the gas to shore project, that Ponzi scheme they want to bring on us. But they can't find time to tell the nation, to tell me and you what GGMC tell him on to know. You see? They can't tell us nothing on to know about the Kaieteur and Kanji oil blocks. He can't tell us how the oil blocks were given away to people who have no experience, no money to operate in an oil block of that magnitude. That 2 oil blocks were given to people who had no financial backings and no experience in that kind of oil operation. Yeah. It looks like he lose his tongue on his promise to the nation. Independent Guyana. Today we celebrate how much? I forget it, man. 55. This is 55 years. Guys, you will reach another 55 years and you will never hear any one of them talk anything about the giveaway of the Kanji and Kaieteur oil blocks. And you will never hear them talking about all these deals unless, like I said, we force them to let us know. But Glenn Lal can sit on a 20 million judgment from Donald Ramatar because I talk little too much about what really happened with the oil blocks giveaway. Our money, our resources, our wealth. This is Guyana, independent and free. Our opposition leader, Mr. Joseph Harmon, in his independence message to Guyana, said, finally it is the generational duty of all Guyanese to commit to a model of economic development now that we have the financial resources. A model that should not replace the old masters with the new masters who are even less concerned about our well-being. Wow. He went on to say, we must raise our voices, commit to new efforts as we did some 55 years ago. This man who was running this country for 5 years didn't know we had the financial resources available to give us a good life. Although he and his party signed all those oil and gold contracts. You hear me? Now he's telling us that. Now he's saying all of us should raise our voices to commit to new efforts as we did 55 years ago. He is the same man who can't tell us why we didn't put a cable to monitor the oil out there. He is the same man who is now telling us that he doesn't know the interest rate Guyana is paying on that $20 billion. This opposition leader is now saying, today, for the first time in our history, economic independence is real, is a real possibility, given our abundant oil and gas resources. Man, could you explain that for me, man?
What about all the gold?
Yeah. Yep. He's telling y'all a good life is in the making with your oil. But like gold, diamond, and bauxite is not important to him. Only the oil and gas that will give the Guyanese people a good life. The crumbs, due to the contract them sign. Yes. Guyanese, what a leader we have in this country. Guyanese, when y'all will wake up with this type of Nancy dreams coming out from these people's mouths. Wow, a good life coming. He didn't know to tell us that since they went in office. He didn't know to tell us about the contracts they signed. As for the AFC, I didn't see no independent messages from them anywhere. Maybe they lost their voice, because if they lose their tongue, you can lose your voice. Like I said, last night our president addressed the nation on all the media outlets. I don't know how many of you would have listened to him. I didn't. I read his speech he delivered, and reading it, I believe he should fire the speechwriter who guided him through that speech. He began by saying that this nation has a long history of exploitation. And he is happy that we were able to gain our freedom to shape our own destiny.
Shaping its limb.
He happy that we were able to shape our own destiny. And he talking about we were exploited. Is what happening right now.
Exploitation
What?
is past exploit. More than the
Yes.
exploitation.
He said we live as one people. We strive to achieve in which we all can prosper. He said there is already considerable private sector enthusiasm for investing in modern hospitals, fully equipped with the latest technology. All these are dreams. His government, he said, will partner with these private sector initiatives to give to all Guyanese the highest quality medical care that each of you deserve. Man, I love this. I love that. Mr. Ali, who will pay for this high quality medical care for the citizens? Where the money will come from? The oil? The crumbs? Right now, we already have medical facilities that can do almost everything. But how many people can afford? How many people can afford to pass by the hospital? Much less to get the care they need. We don't even have nurses and doctors. And this man talking about more medical facilities. Guys, you really need help in this country. He said a promise to educate all the children and how them give 20,000 scholarship. That look like half a Guyana gone. Mr. Ali, when these people don't get their masters, their PhDs, their doctorates and so on, where will they work? In Guyana? We got work for them? What are we paying them with? The oil money? Wow. The leader said, we are a country producing oil and gas and earning considerable money, and how the benefits must pass on to everybody, to all sectors of our society. Is where is money there? What is leader talking about? Can anybody show us? Can somebody tell us? Where is he getting the money from? Wait, is it crumbs this man talking about out there? Comrade leader, please stop. Today is Independence Day. And y'all have to stop misleading and making jumbie jokes with the people of this country. Start getting those twisted contracts straightened. Then show us. That's the only way the people of this country can start dreaming of a better life. He told us last night how his government is exploring ways to spend the little money we have out there to cut light bill. The little money, the $327 they got sitting in the bank out there, they had to cut light bill. He didn't say the gas to show project. But he gone back with the same old tune what Jack Dale and Brassington them singing. That dead donkey for cut light bill. You see the games they play? He said when them spend the oil money, people gonna benefit, including the business sector. Guyana Water Authority ain't paying the light bill. All the government agencies ain't paying the light bill. This is why light bill gotta be so high to us.
For regular people.
Right? And he gonna cut it down in half. These guys, these leaders we have.
Financial groups.
The man said our financial resources must be utilized to improve the quality of life for all our communities. Yes, the few crumbs you're getting right now from the gold, diamond, bauxite, and so on. Yes, that gonna transform your life. That's what he's saying. Y'all been getting that all the time. That is what y'all living on right now. That's the life you will continue to live, brothers and sisters. That's what he's saying. Just the little more crumbs that will come from the oil. What I plan to use as another Ponzi scheme will not benefit Yalis. It will not benefit. It will not cut the light bill. It will triple the light bill with a Ponzi scheme they're coming with. The president said we fought for independence to give our people the quality of life which they had been deprived by the Queen. Yes, the white people. The man said, if freedom is to mean anything, then we got to learn from the past so that we can give our people a better life with better opportunities under better circumstances. Wow. Guys, we are worst off. Mr. Ali, this country is worst off under the Queen. I don't think people was going to bed hungry. So instead of us going forward, giving our people a better life, we are going backward into a new kind of colonization. Back to Massa days. It's just that the Queen is not in charge. Many other countries are in charge with their people, eating out and sucking out the blood of this nation, leaving our brothers and sisters, including me, all of us, with begging bowls all over to feed their children. When this gone done, Mr. Ali, Mr. Harmon, Mr. Jagdeo, Mr. Ramjatan? When? When will our brothers and sisters stop riding bicycle and motorbikes to rob others just to feed their family? When will you raise? When will your salary be raised so that you can put biscuits in your children's lunch kit to go to school? Mr. Ali, Mr. Harmon, Mr. Ramjatan, please go to any school any day and open those children lunch kits, and you will see. Then you will understand we are worse now than under the Massa days, the colonization days. Is this the independent? Is today independent? Is this the Guyana that our foreparents fought for, struggled and died for? Where ExxonMobil have a contract to do as they like? A contract we can't even understand? A contract that claim us, not our feet, but chain us to our necks. Is this independence? Is this the independence y'all talking about and proud of? Is this the independent Guyana that you're proud of? Mr. Ali, are you proud of this independent? Where we don't know the interest rate we are paying on the largest loan the region has ever seen? Are you people in charge? Are we really independent? Ask yourself that question, Mr. Ali. Guyana is touted to have the third largest oil deposit in the world. Third to Saudi Arabia and Kuwait. We also have massive gold, diamond, timber, and bauxite. And your entire speech for independence to this nation had not a single line, not a single word to comfort this nation as to what is taking place with it by these foreign multinationals. Brothers and sisters, I ask, is this independence? Are we still free? Or are we still slaves all over again? This morning, our president and many others texted me to say happy independence. I did not respond to none of them. But let me say now, as a citizen of this land, I am not rude and I am not proud. But I am not going to wish Ali or any leaders, including you, my brothers and sisters, a happy independence. Because this is not independence. This is dependence. And I refuse to become a dependent citizen, depending on these foreigners for crumbs in my own country from my own resources. My own resources. Joshua, you see why I didn't answer you? Because I am damn freaking upset. Take the calls.
All right, callers, you can call us this evening on 226.
I want to hear you guys.
7453 and 226 7454.
You see why
You
I'm
can
upset?
also message us on WhatsApp at 622
How can you greet someone with independence? Okay? When you know in your heart that there's no independence here.
No love, nothing.
The foreigners shackled us. We are living in this country like an abused wife, not being protected.
Caller, good evening to you. Welcome to the Glenn Lal Show.
Good evening.
Good evening to you.
I'm calling about that song for is it released for Independence? The Allah was making some song Pump It Baby Pump It from the aisle where we get it. That song come out?
What did he say?
What did you... I don't understand the
Go
question.
slowly.
I'm asking if the song that Mr. Galal was making for the Independence, if it's out, Pump It Baby Pump It from the aisle where we get it.
For independence.
I made that song myself to play on this radio for all Guyana to listen. There are so many songs I want to make to play all day on the radio, but it's very costly. I can make a song a day.
All right, let's take off that caller there because let's remind you when you call in, you will have to lower the volume. Do you have a question before we take another call? Do we have any call in line? No, we don't.
Lower your
You have...
There was a rumor that when the Kaieteur and Kanji blocks were signed, that the companies that benefited from the deal, their stock prices went sky high, and they made, I think, hundreds of millions. Do you know anything about that?
Okay, I get you. They don't have to make hundreds of millions. They own it. Is that one?
But from just the announcement that
Yes,
they had signed
yes.
the deal and that they have these blocks.
Our leaders,
Yeah.
Donald Ramata and Robert Prasad, they could have sold that. I am told that ExxonMobil wanted to purchase it. Right? And for whatever reason, I don't know. I know the reason, but I can't say it. Whatever reason,
Yes.
them said they give it away. Yeah,
Caller, good evening to you.
they give it away.
Hello?
Hello. Good night.
Good night to you, sir.
Kaieteur News.
Yes,
Yes,
it is,
sir.
sir. Please go ahead with your question.
My brother.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's take this. Caller.
What is it?
The money what them borrowing for the stop the spread of the AIDS. 300 million. Who will that benefit? Guyanese?
Which one?
Guyanese?
You're talking about the money that we got
To-
last year from the oil?
No, to
No,
fight HIV
the
AIDS. Who's it
money-
benefiting?
What they're borrowing for stop AIDS.
Oh. Oh.
America is lending us 300 million, yes.
Oh, yes. Yes, yes,
Uh-huh,
yes. I
uh-huh.
remember.
You
I
spoke about it
remember.
last week, yeah.
I remember.
The men them who come in there and walking with their wife, who wife them go put that on? What they gonna use the condom fund?
Mm.
And when they're done with Guyanese, it come a prostitute country. You know why Cuba has to go to war with America? It is same.
Yeah, the call is asking about the 300 million the U.S. Giving Guyana to help sustain the fight against AIDS. The caller, I don't know, that's crumbs. That's nothing. So we shouldn't even be talking about that.
All right, I got a
Yeah.
question here. It says the president and the vice president mentioned that they're considering ways how to improve our lives by investing and using the money from an oil fund bank account. Is there a way that we can stop them from accessing this money and using it?
Oh, you're talking about money in the natural fund, the natural reserve fund. Yes, they can access it, but they have to get permission from Parliament. But let me tell that person, that's just little. That's little crumbs. It's crumbs. 322 or 27 million US dollars crumbs.
Yeah.
That money, if you take that money out, it can't even fix the road from Timeri to Georgetown.
Yeah.
So let's don't focus on that, right? Let's don't get carried away with this. PPP want to take out the money for throwing gas. It's a little money that should do something for us. Yes, it's important, yes. But let's don't focus on that too much. Let's focus on how we can get big money, not a crumbs, right?
We have a caller there. Caller, good evening to you. Welcome to the Glenn Al Show.
Yes, good night.
Good night to you,
Good night,
sir.
sir.
Yeah, I want to just give a little contribute to this topic.
All right.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear what y'all doing there, and I think this nonsense got to stop
Exactly.
because Mr. Ramatar can't do these stupidness in this country, gain away things as they like and doing these things to people in this
They have
country.
been doing that. They have been doing that. The coalition went in and was doing similar things. So it's all of them.
Mr. Lal,
Yes.
this thing, what you're doing is very good. I'm glad that you're doing these things. And I listening to the topic of me and my family, and these things annoying us because these things not right. These things is not right at all with these people doing us.
We are heading back to Massa days, bro.
And
Just-
another thing again, and my people them is just sit down there, just listening and just ain't saying anything. My Armenian people ain't even backing up and even. So why we put them there for? They're not saying anything. They're getting the brown paper back too.
Yes, I believe lots of them collecting brown paper bag. But like how rain falling now, they're not walking. They're putting the brown paper bag in a black plastic bag so you don't wet and fall down.
Mr. Ramatar would like people go in his house and take things and sell it. And he would like people do that. How he could come and take people things and just go in and sell it and then they're saying that how these things is not no problem. Why these things? Why they doing these things, man?
Brother, I am just as upset as you are.
These people is real beasts. I call them beasts, man.
Yes. Yeah, they don't have a heart. They don't even go. But come election time, they run around. They run around.
The time will be a different.
And you know what? You know what? We look at race. And we vote for race. Mm-hmm.
I'll miss again. Like, keep on.
Thank you. Good night. Good night.
I have some questions here. I really want to get out of the way before we get any more
Take the
calls.
calls if it
I don't
comes.
think there's none coming right now. Hence, that's why I said that. So, is the government mandated to disclose all contracts made on behalf of the Guyanese people?
Of course. Of course. Nothing should be secret. All democratic countries have accountability.
Yeah.
They have to be transparent in what they do. But our leaders doesn't do anything like that. Like I talked in the last program, all the contracts, all the deals they sign, they put confidentiality clause to hide it away from us.
Yeah. Caller, good evening to you.
Hello.
Hi, good evening.
Hi. Good evening. Mr. Glenn,
Good night.
I enjoy this independence update about. But then, look, I want to know that the UN man ever said that if a citizen of any country speak the truth and try to expose any leader, they must charge that citizen with lawsuit upon lawsuit. And look at this other one. Mr. Glenn, when I was a little boy, I used to dream that I have money in my pocket.
Me too.
And when I feel nice, and then when I push my hand in my pocket when I wake up, there is nothing. But then I realized I was dreaming. Hear this one now. A big boy is saying that he will fulfill our dream. Right now, I'm glad if I could dream that our leader can do over this contract with Exxon.
I thank you.
And we get our 12%. And Exxon must take care of their own expense.
Thank you.
And put our insurance right for our country.
Thank you.
Where this oil is concerned.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Caller, good evening. Welcome to the Glenn Loud Show. Oh, we lost that caller there. We have another one there? All right.
The gentleman just said a nice thing there. The man said they should come with their investment here,
Yeah.
right? Not we should find the investment. I recall Jack Dew came here on the radio station and said all the banks in Guyana don't have money to do anything. So I asked him, and he never answered me. I said, wait, since when Guyana had to find money to invest out there? That's not our investment.
Correct.
That's our wealth. If you want to come and make money off my wealth, you have to come with your investment, your money.
Yeah.
But instead, the people went and borrowed money and we paying it. So it's our investment out there, plus our wealth. And they are sharing from our investment, our wealth, with us, giving us 2% and taking away 98%.
Yeah.
What's going on in this country, man? This thing has to change. We got to stand up and make this and have it change. Everything in that contract needs to be changed. I just talked about the abandonment provision, the cleanup provision. This thing is so I just can't find a word to describe it. It's this is like a kid learning to write and drawing all kind of thing. There's no word for me to explain. I cannot understand what's going on with that alone. This is why I could say take the call.
Caller, good evening to you. All right.
This is why
Caller,
I
good
could
evening.
have said that we will not get the amount from our oil wealth with the cost alone to clean up.
Caller, good evening to you.
Hi, good night. Is this the Glenn Lau Show?
Can you speak up, please? Yes, you are. You're on the Glenn Loud Show.
Good night. Is this the Glenn Lau Show?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, speak up.
Okay, my contribution tonight is that as the people of Guyana, we have ultimate power. And unless we unite and come together, then we are going to keep suffering as citizens of this country while the politicians, they take the hug of everything.
I hear you.
Because you see what happens coming to election. These politicians, whether PPP, AP, and you, whoever, they come and they give us a set of promises, and then we are divided. We forget about our interests, and we go and we vote based on racial lines. And when that party gets into power, then we see their true colors, because all along PPP was saying about the contract was done wrong and all of this. And they're in there over a year, and yet still they can't seem to get it right or has no intentions of getting it right. So I think we as Guyanese need to know that we are the power, the people are the government. And until we recognize that, then we're headed for doom. And I totally agree with all of what Mr. Lal said. If we're going to build a hospital, who is going, and your partner in the government is going to partner with private institutions to build a hospital. We have private hospitals, Balwan Singh and Woodlands and all of that, that the Guyanese people cannot even afford to go there. And their prices are not that much. If you have a smart hospital, what would be the prices? Who is going to afford that? You know, so I don't know what's happening, but I really think we have to realize that the power is in the hands of us, the citizens. And we have to forget about race and really come together and vote change. And we have to hold these people accountable to their promises, that when they go in there and they said they're going to do something and they do not deliver, get them out. Thank you.
You're welcome. Very smart woman. Race is our biggest problem in this country. And unless we begin to see that that is the root of what's going on in this land, this country will never prosper. And the people will continue to live the same way. But there is something else I want to touch, I want to inform you on. The AFC, when they came out and declared themselves a runner, they came out with some beautiful, fancy praises and innocence and so on. How they're gonna move away the PPP and the PNC. And what happened? They're all sucked in to each other. And it's same square one we went back to. So our issue in this country is to find decent and honest leaders. It's a very hard thing. It's a very hard thing, my dear. Hopefully, if we don't get them to change, we will have to find leaders to replace all of them. But I have hope, and I believe if we constantly keep banging with our knowledge, they will be forced to change. I know they will change. They have to change. But we all have to speak up loud and clear. Tell your friends, let your families, tell neighbors. Wake up and listen. Get out there and read the newspapers. That's the only way we can bring about a change.
I have a question here. It comes from, of course, one of our listeners. Mr. Lal, why is it you only talking about all the politicians but not President Ali? Is he a sacred cow or is he your friend?
President Ali, I just spoke about President Ali. But I tried to avoid President Ali because all these things that I'm talking about, President Ali was not in the game. The people who I'm talking about is Ramjatan, Trotman Patterson, Mr. Jagdeo, the Kingpin, Brasington, Ashni Singh, Robert Prasad, Donald Ramatar, to an extent. You know? I don't even talk much about David Granger, because in my heart I believe he was just like Ramatar. You understand? They were all hoodwinked. Because I remember one day, the first press conference Mr. Granger had, when we talked about oil, about ExxonMobil, he said he don't believe that ExxonMobil, such a huge institution, would do anything to stain their character. when I heard that, we were in the editorial room, was an afternoon, and we all were listening to it. When I heard that, I said, oh my God, Guyana dead, Guyana done with. Guyana done with. But he was very much ignorant and naive, and he was honest with himself, right? And I told Adam, I told the entire staff, I said, you guys listen to what he said? And he was like, I said, oh gosh, Guyana dead, Guyana doomed. He honestly says he didn't believe, that, these guys, and he responded to the question from my reporter. Because there's so many stories we were carrying, what ExxonMobil and all these oil companies did in all those Asians, Arabians, and African countries. Yeah. And he said he don't believe Exxon, such a huge company, going to do anything to tarnish their character. When I heard that, I went like, oh my God, Guyana dead. Yeah. Done with. Yeah.
Another one. Sir, I've been listening to you a lot and have learned so much. I went out of the way to listen to our president last night and was shocked to hear him say not a single word on our oil resources. Mm-hmm. It continues, it is unthinkable that we have a loan from Exxon and he did not address the interest rate that Guyana is paying. Mm-hmm. I was dumbfounded when I heard him say nothing about who is monitoring our oil out there. Mm-hmm. Can you touch on this?
Well, he's one of them that I have asked to tell us the interest rate, and he did not respond to. Right? But I was so shocked that he's there as president and does not see it fit to put a cable, a simple cable, the most important thing, to monitor the oil that comes up there every day. Just forget about the 327, just forget about the gas to show project. If we monitor that, we can know every drop of oil that's coming up. Yeah. But these leaders not saying a single word. And I myself was shocked and I said it. I didn't hear this man said anything about oil. And Guyana is the third with the richest deposit of oil in this land, in the north.
We have a caller.
It's sickening.
Calling good evening to you.
Good evening. I would like... Is this the Guyana Lad Show?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, I disagree with Mr. Lal that Granger should be excluded. He's the executive president. All his other ministers are his assistants, and therefore he's like Guyana Lal owning Kaieteur News. Everybody is subject to his discretion, and therefore.
I hear you.
Yeah, and therefore he is totally responsible.
I hear you, but I really don't agree with you, because hold on the line. Glenn Lal is the head of Kaieteur News, yes. But Glenn Lal only have two eyes.
Yeah,
Glenn Lal can't see. Glenn Lal cannot see and know everything that goes in the newspaper.
No, he's not going into the newspaper. This is a contract. This is a contract he signed. The executive president, this is Guyana's might. I
hear you.
He should be totally responsible.
I hear you, but I think...
that's a difference of opinion.
Secondly,
investment Guyana is making this as investment for ExxonMobil, not ExxonMobil, and therefore Guyana should got a power over every aspect of the island. ExxonMobil is not taking responsibility for anything. International law will dictate, if Guyana goes to court, that they can win the case against ExxonMobil. Thank you.
Hold on the line. I tend to differ because if you guys remember, when the 18 million signing bonus, the little couscous money, when that story was break, it was clear that David Granger did not know about that money. That money was being kept secret away from him. And he came out...
How do you know that?
Wait.
How do you know that? He never said it was kept secretly again. He damn well knew everything. I disagree with you there, man.
All right.
You're trying to protect Granger, man.
I am not protecting him.
No. He is as bad as all of them. All of them need to go to jail.
I hear you.
Thank you.
I hear you. Stay on the line, man. Stay on the line.
They have to blame the law as well because it says the minister is responsible for signing these contracts. That's what the law says. It's not the president.
I was going to tell him that.
Yeah. So
David Granger or President Ali, right?
sign it because they don't have responsibility for that. The law
Right,
says
they
it's
give-
the minister.
Ministers have responsibilities.
And that was one of the
Okay.
issues why they were saying that it should be reformed, because the minister has an unprecedented amount of power,
Right.
especially when you look at these contracts and
Correct.
the impacts they can have.
Okay, so he may not have known about the 18 million, but when he did find out, what did he do?
Well, he came out and he took the blame on himself.
No, but he's supposed to fire people, because if I did that to you behind your back, you would have sent me home packing.
Well, that's a question for Mr. David Granger to answer. And it's not an easy thing firing people in this country too,
It's true.
right?
All right. So I have a
Especially a political party. If 50 members come and say no, you can't fire him, then it's a difficult
It's a
task.
tricky thing.
It's not an easy thing.
Would it be true for us to say that any contract that is made at secret or has a secret clause is indeed a recipe for corruption?
Oh, of course. Oh, the world knows that. Every child knows that. If a family, let's use a family, forget about a country, right? If the mommy sign a contract secret with somebody and the father doesn't know and the children doesn't know, we just figure that and come with your own conclusion. I don't have to answer that. Something going on there. Or if the father sign a contract, sign away a piece of land, and don't tell the children and the wife, then you got to see what's going on, right? It's trickery, it's robbery, right? Or some sweet woman he just ever give it to, right? Some skullduggery going on, man.
I have another one. Do you believe that the executives has already done an assessment of our politicians' weakness and has already taken steps to control them by ways of donations?
Who does that? Repeat the question.
Do you believe that the executives, I'm assuming the oil companies or any other, has already done an assessment of our politician weaknesses and have already taken steps to control them by ways of donation?
Well, that's the first donation is not the issue here. The oil companies them done suss out every single body and don't know who they can handle from who they can't handle. You understand? They're in control. Let me say this. Carl Greenidge is a senior member within the PNC party. He was an executive within the coalition government, vice president, and he is working with Barjak Deodem, the PVP government. Why you think he's working with them? There's a reason. There is a reason. ExxonMobil got something to do there. You understand? So Exxon puts their own people because Carl Greenidge was part of the coalition government, an executive that in which all these many contracts were signed, many deals were signed. The 2% were signed under them. And if you forgot, Trotman was said he was instructed and directed to sign. So who could have instructed him? Read through the lines and you see the games that are playing out.
And remind us the three things the oil company does when they come to the country.
Mm-hmm. Yes, line the pockets of the politicians, create confusion and chaos, and while we fight, they're just packing up by the boatloads. So they like when they fight.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you think this crime wave is linked to the oil sector?
Crime wave linked to people's belly.
But it ties into what you just said about the oil companies coming into a country looking to do things to destabilize. They mess with the politicians, they mess with the people. So it's like the more chaos, the less attention is paid to them and what they're doing.
Exactly. But crime all over. The United States have tremendous crime. New York City.
Yeah.
Because people can't feed their children.
Yep.
You understand? You can't buy gasoline to put in your vehicle to go for a drive.
Yes.
You can't have a good life, a simple life. That's why you got these kind of crimes going on there now. So poverty leads to crime, criminality.
Definitely.
All right, I have one here. It comes back to the president's independence address last night. It says here there was a part where President Ali said that the announcement of national awardees will soon be announced. I am saying, and I really want to hear what is your input. I think Miss Melinda Janke should be nominated for the highest national award of this country.
Oh, beautiful. I endorse that. That woman should be given the highest award Guyana has.
Yeah.
She has done tremendously. She who have Glenn Lal sitting here talking.
Yeah.
She who has educated all of us in this company and this country
Yes.
on these contracts and what it means. As a matter of fact, I texted her to ask her to give her comments on the abandonment provision, decommissioning. I'll tell you if she answered me. Maybe she was out.
Maybe we can take a few calls before we wrap things up this evening.
But that lady should be given the
yes.
highest award.
Caller, good evening to you. All right, the caller not ready for us. Let's take the next call. Caller, good evening to you.
Good night.
Good night to you.
Good night, Mr. Glenlal. The other night you were saying that the Information Act for the people is not functioning. So what we like to know... Hello?
Yes,
Go ahead.
We'd like to know if the representation of the People Act can work, because they use the representation of the People Act to steal the election and go in power. So we want to know if this representation of the People Act can work. For ExxonMobil them, show we all the contracts them, the government, to show we all the contracts using the representation of the People Act. And they will not give Melinda Janke no award because she didn't indulge in their corruption. Timothy Jonas and them going to get because they was vocal and the American ambassador. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
I hear you.
Thank you very much, caller. Mr. Lal, someone is asking this question. Of course, they totally agree with the person that commented on Miss Melinda Janke being nominated to receive a national award. What will you do if you are nominated to receive a national award and the highest of that? As a matter of fact, yes, you.
No, man, that person got to be joking. Me, Glenn Lal? No, man, no. I have said it umpteen times to my staff that if ever a national man, I don't even accept invitations from them.
It's true.
You know, I don't go. Many years now, I don't go on invitations. If a national award was given to me, I'll never, ever accept it from them. No. None of these leaders in this land could ever think they would offer me a national award. And the reason for that, I will accept one. I will accept one if I see changes in this land. As long as I don't see changes in this land, I can't see them as a leader, and I will not accept anything from them. Right?
I think we don't have any more callers this evening, so the last question goes to you.
Mr. Lal, why would you not say Happy Independence Day?
Well, listen, when you're greeting someone, when using the word happy, you have to be happy. I am not fake. I just can't say happy. I can't tell you I love you when I know I don't. I can't look you in your eyes and tell you, you're a good guy. I appreciate you. I just can't do it. And that's just Glenn Lal. That's just who I am. I told you guys I have not spoken to Mr. Jagdeo for 14 years as president. That's just who I am. When I see Brassington, them, don't speak to them. You understand? I don't even want to be around them. That's just who I am. I got to be happy to be around you. I must feel that within my soul. I must feel that comfort. I must be, yes, I can line with you. I can hang out with you. Other than that, I just can't do that, man. I prefer to stay with 2 friends. All my life. 2 true friends. People who I know, who I feel, understand, care, and can see good of this life, than to go hang out with fake people. People who are deceitful. People who are only thinking about themselves. I lose friends. I have less than 10 friends on my 2 hands in this world. And I lost some of them. Why? Because I told them straight in their faces, you guys are only looking out for yourselves and that of your families, and you don't even care about your neighbor. Well, Glenn Lala's never lived his life like that. I could never live like that. And I prefer to lose that friendship for 30 years than to have them talk to me knowing their mentality and how they think, how selfish they are. Guys, God bless you, and thanks for listening. Please join me on Friday, same time, same places. Enjoy the rest of the evening.